John Thompson. This is directed to one candidate, and it's directed to Ms. Platt. I was quite intrigued about in your opening statement, in your first couple of lines, you included the phrase income trust with an intonation of something that I found rather strange. Would you care to go back 4 years ago when Mr. Flaherty made the announcement about income trusts and tell us what your party's position was and who you supported, your party supported in that decision?
Okay, so John, we're going to go in the order that I've got here. So we're going to Green Party first. It has the option to respond.
No, I just wanted...
No. In all fairness, John, you know how this works. They all get the opportunity to respond. And Ms. Platt is third in the line, so you know what? You can just stand there for 2.5 minutes.
My question was directed to Ms.
And I understand that. I'm not taking direct questions to the candidates. Fine, thank you. And you're going to get your answer. So we'll start off with the Green Party of Canada, Brandon Waters.
I'll forego my answer.
Thank you. So 2, we're going to go to Progressive candidate Roger Legacy.
Progressive Canadian.
Thank you. Sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry about that. Income trusts, finances. I don't know a whole lot about that. I'm not part of an income trust. I'd be more probably in the camp of the gentleman who was asking, well, what will you do to help people who don't have taxable income? I'm not in that category yet, but I heard your question, sir, but I don't think he did, because I don't think he can imagine being without taxable income. I don't think he can imagine that. I can't. I've been without taxable income as a young person. And I know a lot of people that are without taxable income in their elderly years as well. But I want to get back to the question of trust and the question of integrity. And
if you can answer the question, that'd be great. On income trust.
I'm answering the question. I'm saying that we're being lied to about the wars, and it's costing us a huge amount of money. So I think it's really important that be discussed, and I think that before I entered this race, it wasn't discussed. It's a huge, huge amount of money draining out of Canada and creating a bad reputation for us abroad. That's why I'm running this election. Thank you.
Thank you. And the Democratic Party, Terry Platt.
Hundreds of thousands of Canadians lost their savings, their retirement savings.
But what was your party's position at the time?
Stop it, John. We're okay here.
What was my party's position at the time? You know what? I don't know. I don't know.
There's your answer. Thank you.
There's your answer. But now, with trusts, with retirement savings plans, why should people put their money in and not have it protected? I know of some folks in West Vancouver, they had to sell their house. Now, you might think, oh, well, West Vancouver, that's okay, not a big deal, they're wealthy there, well, I rent. And these people, they are now living in East Vancouver and they are renting because that was their entire retirement savings plan. And no government should be allowed to wipe that out. They might say, well, we're going to give you an additional $50 a month. That goes a long way towards paying for that house or keeping it over your heads. I don't know a lot about income trust, but at least I'm honest enough to come out and say it and tell you. And thank you.
Thank you. Conservative Representative John Weston.
I think the 3 toughest words to say in politics is I don't know, so well done, Terry. The income trusts were a big loophole, and money was destined to flow out of the country, and they weren't building Canadian companies. So the loophole had to be closed, and it was. And it was that kind of decision that leads us to where we are today. This government has cut 120 taxes in the 5 years plus that it's been in place. We are now 13 points to the better of the Americans in the corporate tax rate. What does that mean? It's simple. It means that if you're thinking about investing in a place around the world, you think about investing in Canada above other places. When I worked in Asia, people said, no, I'd love to move to Canada, I'd love to own a house in Canada, I'd love to send my kids to school in Canada, but I wouldn't want to do business because your taxes are too high. That's changed, and we need to keep that momentum going so that Powell River can be a sustainable place in every sense of the word for the years to come. Another example of how the economy is in solid shape is in terms of free trade agreements. This government has negotiated 8 free trade agreements and has 50 more under negotiation. The Liberals negotiated only 3 in the 13 years that they were in power. So all of these are factors which can help us explain why the International Monetary Fund is saying we are the top economy in the world due to the policies of this government.
Sounds like another private banking system to me. Thank you very much.
We get better at this venue.
Oh, you're terrific now, DeVito. Here's the basic equation. Policy differences aside on income trusts, Mr. Harper and his government was elected on a specific promise that he wouldn't touch income trusts. Then he won, and then he did. So people invested in mutual funds and private investments, in large pension funds, in income trusts, specifically because Stephen Harper, before he became Prime Minister, said, I will never, ever touch income trusts. So he changed his mind. You know, that's, I mean, and we're talking about democracy. That's one of the reasons why people are so turned off with politicians who say one thing to get elected, do exactly the opposite when they are. In this case, the economic evidence is clear. As Terry alluded to, $30 billion of value, $30 billion with a B, was erased from the net worth of Canadians, specifically because Stephen Harper broke a promise. Those are the facts.